Yeah. Yeah, George.
Good morning, Mr. President.
I was wondering what you thought the tactics should be with regard to now keeping these guys in this pay board. What I'm getting at is that it will, to a certain extent, determine, what reactions they will have to them now. You see what I mean?
Yes.
So he's kind of broken it off in them. So, what are your feelings on that? How would you play it at this moment?
The substance, they're getting what they want. That is, they're getting retroactivity from the Congress. Both House and Senate have voted that on their...
when will that be down here? Well, that'll be sometime.
Well, we don't know exactly, but sometime in early December, I imagine.
Fine.
We were pushing to get it through. For a while, we were delaying it, hoping that the pay board would straighten it out. But now we see the pay board isn't, so we're pushing it and saying, well, go ahead. And
then when I do it, I will sign it reluctantly with a blast at that, don't you think? Might as well.
I suppose so. I don't think we have to make up our mind on that until it
My
gets
point
here.
is this, that we may as well at least get a few points with the business community who say we're soft on labor by getting at. But anyway, that's that we can see. But go ahead.
Well, so on the substance, they are getting what they want, so they really don't have any complaint left. However, the process that we've gone through in the last 2 or 3 weeks has poisoned things very badly. And I should think, particularly within the pay board, since Meany has made fun of Boldt and denounced Weber and so forth, that it's hard for these people to work together, and I think we have to
well, now the real question is
carefully.
What?
We have to watch that pretty carefully.
We have to watch it, but the point is how much now you want to have Meany taken on. You see, that gets back to it, because he's.
I think
you see what I mean. You were saying last night he should be taken on. Should he or should he not be? My own feeling is that it might be that we have to try to isolate him to an extent to make him look bad.
I think so.
Because if you don't do that, George, I'm afraid that you get the worst of both worlds. You get out and take the others with him. But if others feel he's a little unpopular, they may not. But I don't know. What do you think?
That's the way I read it. I think we need to isolate him. I have a golfing date today with Frank Fitzsimmons.
Good.
And I'll see what he has to say.
Well, I would hit him hard in saying how crude and rude and so forth he was.
Right. Well, that has come through, and I don't think Meany. I think Meany was dumb about that.
Well, it isn't. It's come through to an extent, but he made it didn't. You couldn't tell it from reading the Times account that there was any rudeness. I mean,
I haven't read the Times.
You could get the rudeness.
Post played it pretty well.
You could get the rudeness, but you didn't. But you just got in the Times the poor reception. You didn't get the strong speech, which was the thing we wanted. But that's the way they were playing it.
I think.
But nevertheless, the television is what is important. If I don't know, they may have gotten more of it through.
I think we have to be alert to the possibility that the pay board might blow up. The public members might walk off, for instance. They're increasingly isolated themselves. Or Meany might, in a fit of temper. He's become so irascible that his own union people, like Abel, for instance, say that he's unpredictable and unstable, and they don't know quite what to make of him. His recent glories have gone to his head, apparently.
Is that right?
So that he could do something erratic. So I think that we need to be building ourselves.
Your thought that if that happens, that we just continue the board? They walk off?
We could continue it as a public board, or we could reimpose the freeze for a short period while a public board of price and wage people put out broad guidelines, and then just lift the accept everything, except that have a kind of exhortation approach and repeal the bureaucracy, so to speak.
Right.
I guess that would be my preferred route.
You go 60 days.
But I think we need to start building a broader case for how we're going to deal with inflation and prosperity. I've been trying to work out a line on that and have developed it into a little talk, and I've been working with Sapphire on it. And I have a talk to give Monday night. I might try it out there. But I'd like to go over that with you and see what you think of a line of chatter that maintains our interest in the machinery and the controls, basically says that what is going to make Phase 2 work is not only the controls, but what came before it in terms of economic policy, the determination of the president after the freeze to maintain a strong fiscal stance, and the impact of an expansion on productivity, which will cut the daylights out of labor costs. That's the pattern that I've been developing, so that if we're out in front a little bit, where we're not so dependent on the controls, and we're saying to people that well, they're important and we hope they work, but if they're removed, we're not lost.
It isn't the end of the world. That's part of it. Exactly. Let me ask this. It's a very good idea to do that, and I hope you can get it done soon. Let me ask if you could, do you think you have to have two and the contingency plan ready to go? You see, people like Rumsfeld commented, I don't think they're thinking in those terms at all. I mean, they say, well, we'll go down. So why don't you have your OMB and Weber and the rest of whoever you can get your contingency ready?
All right. I've been working on that a little bit for a while now.
There should be a contingency plan ready the moment anything happens, you see, so that we're ready. Because we, like in the foreign policy field, we have contingencies for almost everything you could imagine. And in this area, it's quite obvious. We know various things that could happen. We should have a contingency plan. And I think that's what should come up now. Okay? Yes, sir. All right, fine, George. Enjoy your golf game. I hope it doesn't rain.
Well, Fitzsimmons is not exactly my idea of how to
I like
Saturday afternoon.
He's a great fellow. Incidentally, keep the possibility of our friend there, you might, if you raise it, discuss that with him, what he thinks would happen and so forth. Would you do that?
I will. I got another reading since the time you and John Mitchell and I talked. That
he didn't want it?
No, Meany's view was inquired into by Woodcock, and Meany's stance is that he thinks Hoffa's paid his penalty. He's not going to take part in any effort to get him freed. On the other hand, if he is freed, or if Meany is asked about it, that's what he would respond, that Hoffa's paid his penalty. If he isn't asked about it, he won't volunteer anything. So I think Meany is neutralized on this.
Well, good. But never can depend on that, can you?
You sure can't. And I thought
he's been quite changeable.
His references to private conversations that Hodgson, I imagine, had with him was very surprising to me, because Meany has historically been very good about that.
Keeps his confidence.
He sure has now. So I think that it isn't a question of whether or not we are at war with Meany and company. It's only a question of how to wage the war.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Fine. Enjoy your game.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful appearance I think you made down there at
Miami.
Because
well, I didn't want to take on old George-Meany because he's been a good fellow on many issues, but you just can't let anybody say that the president knows what he can do,
Well, the reaction already, I've been noticing the ticker today, the reaction among the labor leaders has been that it's done them more harm than good by the way he acted.
I see.
In other words, the almost insulting manner in which you were treated is backfiring on them. And I think for that reason he's not going to gain any wage out of it.
We have to stand up to them, Edgar. The point is that everybody wants...
We have to abdicate and let them run the country.
And we simply cannot have this wage price push, and so... and he only represents, as you know, there are only 18 million organized laborers, and there's 62 million that are not in unions, so you got to think...
You get to hear him talk, you think he had the whole country organized.
That's right, that's right.
But,
I appreciate that. As I said, I just went down there, and I was very, very pleasant, but very firm.
No, you were cool throughout. I saw it on TV.
Oh, yeah. On your favorite network, CBS? No.
Incidentally,
NBC,
he gave part of that network away today, you know.
Who?
Graham gave part of that network away today.
Is that right?
The WTOP-FM she gave to Howard University.
That's nice.
And that's where it belongs.
That's nice.